Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Okay, so let's dive in. If you feel like your brain could use a bit of an upgrade, maybe sharper memory, better focus, just clarity, right?
Yeah.
You are definitely not alone in feeling that.
Not at all. It seems like everyone's looking for that edge these days.
And that quest, well, it's fueled this absolutely massive industry. Brain supplements.
Huge. We're talking billions of dollars globally. I mean, cognitive function is just so highly valued, especially now. Everything's so fast-paced.
Right.
And the sheer number of products out there, it really reflects that demand. But as our sources dig into, it's a real mix, isn't it?
A mix of what, like science and hype?
Exactly. Sophisticated science in some cases, but also some pretty aggressive marketing hype. Promises and pitfalls, you could say.
Okay, so that's basically our mission for this deep dive then. We want to try and cut through all those claims. Look at the actual evidence, the clinical trials, the research, and give you a clear evidence-based view.
The idea is really to empower you, the listener. So when you're looking at those brightly labeled bottles on the shelf, you can ask the right questions before spending your money.
Because it's confusing.
It really is. The core difficulty, I think, for most people isn't finding supplements. They're everywhere. It's figuring out which ones are actually backed by, solid, repeatable science.
Versus the ones that just sound good on the label.
Precisely. So to do that, we probably need to start with the ingredients themselves. What's actually in these things?
Okay, let's unpack that. When you look closely at the labels of these targeted brain supplements, a few ingredients seem to pop up again and again.
Yeah, there are definitely some common players.
The first one, and maybe the one with the most research behind it, seems to be phosphatidylserine. You often see it abbreviated as just PS.
Yes, PS. It's a phospholipid, basically a type of fat molecule. And it's really crucial for the health of cell membranes, particularly in the brain.
Okay, crucial how? What does it actually do?
Well, what's fascinating is its function. It helps maintain the fluidity and structure of the neuron's membrane. Think of it like keeping things flexible and functional.
Like grease for the gears, maybe.
That's a good analogy, yeah.
Yeah.
It helps communication signals travel more efficiently between your brain cells. And the studies do suggest this is linked to improved memory.
Right.
And potentially even slowing down cognitive decline, particularly in older adults.
Okay, so that one, PS, sounds like it has some decent science behind it.
Relatively speaking, yes. More than many others.
But then we also see things like coffee cherry extract pretty frequently.
Yeah.
That's usually touted for antioxidants, right? Reducing oxidative stress.
Yeah, coffee cherry or coffee fruit extract. High in antioxidants, and the theory is that reducing oxidative stress helps overall brain health.
But the key word there is theory.
Well, yes. While antioxidants are generally good, the specific link between this extract and measurable cognitive enhancement needs more robust research to be confirmed definitively. It's promising, but not quite as established as PS.
Gotcha. And then, of course, there are the basics, the essential vitamins like B6, B12, and E. They often show up, too.
Oh, absolutely. And those are foundational. The B vitamins, B6 and B12 especially, are just non-negotiable for baseline cognitive health. They're vital for neurotransmitter function, protecting neurons. Well, you need them. Vitamin E is a key antioxidant, too.
But it sounds like there's a difference between having enough for basic function and taking extra for enhancement.
Exactly. That's the crucial distinction. Getting enough B vitamins is essential. But when we move from covering the baseline to claims about enhancing performance beyond normal function, well, that's where the evidence often gets a bit shaky for many ingredients.
So PS has some solid backing. Coffee cherry less so. Vitamins are essential, but maybe not enhancers on their own.
That's a fair summary. And then you have other popular ones like omega-3 fatty acids, often included too.
Right. Fish oil and things like that. Essential for brain structure. Who knows that?
Definitely essential. But again, the studies on whether supplementing with extra omega-3s gives you a cognitive boost. The results are, frankly, all over the place.
Why is that?
It seems to depend heavily on the individual's starting point, their baseline health, their existing diet, and also the specific formulation and quality of the supplement itself.
So not all fish oil is created equal.
Not by a long shot. And not every brain needs the same thing.
Okay, so let's take a concrete example. There's a popular product called Neuriva. It actually combines two of those ingredients we mentioned, coffee cherry extract and phosphatidylserine.
Yes, that's a well-known one.
So what happened when they actually put that specific combination to the test in clinical trials? What did they find?
Well, the findings showed that there were indeed improvements, but the key word is modest.
Modest, okay.
After 42 days, so about 6 weeks, healthy adults in the study did show measurable gains. These were in areas like attention, memory, and focus. And they used both subjective reports, how people felt, and objective cognitive tests.
Okay, modest improvements.
Yeah.
But I remember reading something interesting about who saw those improvements.
Ah, yes. That's a really crucial caveat. Our sources highlight that these modest effects were primarily observed in individuals who already self-reported having mild memory issues.
Right. So that makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is it genuinely enhancing cognition, or is it maybe just bringing people with slight issues back closer to their baseline?
Or could it even be a subtle placebo effect, especially in a group already concerned about their memory?
Exactly. How do we parse that? Are they really helping someone who feels they're slipping, or is it more of a psychological boost because they're doing something?
That's a really important question, and it casts scrutiny on, well, the whole industry, frankly. When benefits are described as modest and seem concentrated in a population that self-identifies with a problem,
Yeah.
it suggests a couple of things. First, these supplements probably aren't going to turn a normally high-performing individual into some kind of super genius overnight.
Right, no magic pill.
No. And second, it suggests they might be helping to correct a subtle, perhaps pre-existing deficit or inefficiency in that specific group. It underlines the idea that these are more like aids, potentially, rather than fundamental game changers for everyone.
Okay, so even if an ingredient like PS can work, the effect might be small, and maybe only for certain people.
That seems to be what the current balance of evidence suggests for many of these targeted formulas.
And then, even if the ingredient itself has potential, we hit another major hurdle when we step outside those controlled clinical trials and onto the actual market.
Oh, absolutely. This brings us squarely into the territory of safety and quality concerns. Big concerns.
Talk about that. What are the pitfalls here?
Well, this is probably the single biggest difference between buying a supplement and getting a prescription drug. Unlike pharmaceuticals, dietary supplements generally do not need FDA approval before they go on sale.
Wait, really? No pre-approval?
Broadly speaking, no. The responsibility falls almost entirely on the manufacturer to ensure their product is safe and that the label is accurate. The FDA typically only steps in after a problem has been reported.
Wow. That's a huge shift in the burden of proof, isn't it, from the regulator to the company?
It is. And what that lack of required pre-market approval means for you, the consumer, in practice, well, it creates an environment where inconsistent labeling and ingredient variants are unfortunately quite common.
Meaning what's on the label might not be what's in the bottle.
Exactly. Sources warn frequently about this. Consumers can encounter products where the actual dose of the active ingredient, like PS, is wildly different from what the label claims. Sometimes much lower, sometimes maybe even higher.
That's bad enough, just not getting what you paid for.
It gets worse. There have been documented cases, serious ones, where unapproved substances, sometimes even active pharmaceutical ingredients like stimulants or antidepressants, have been found hidden in products marketed as natural brain boosters.
Oh, wow. That's not just ineffective, that's actually dangerous.
Extremely dangerous, especially if you're taking other medications or have underlying health conditions.
So we could be paying, often quite a lot of money, for something that is either useless or incorrectly dosed, or even contains hidden, potentially harmful drugs.
That's the risk, yes. And you might never know unless specific testing is done, or worse, a serious adverse event occurs. It creates this massive safety issue that really demands intense due diligence from the consumer.
Because you can't just trust the label implicitly.
You really can't. The burden is entirely on you to verify. If you can't be reasonably sure about what's actually in the product, then even the best science about an individual ingredient doesn't mean much, does it?
No, it doesn't. Okay, so this sounds a bit like the Wild West. How on earth do we navigate this? What practical advice can we give someone who is looking for a supplement and wants to find one they can actually trust?
Right. It's not impossible, but you have to be savvy. The absolute priority has to be quality and transparency.
Okay, so what does that look like?
First, demand transparent labeling. A reputable manufacturer should provide a clear, detailed list of ingredients. And critically, it should specify the exact dosage of the key active compounds, like phosphatidylserine.
Not just proprietary blend.
Exactly. If you see proprietary blend hiding the amounts of the important stuff, that's often a red flag. Walk away. Transparency is key.
Okay, clear label, exact dosages. What else?
Second, and this is crucial, maybe the most important step, look for third-party certifications.
What are those?
These are seals on the packaging from independent organizations like NSF International, USP, United States Pharmacopeia, or ConsumerLab.com.
And what do?
These groups actually test the product, often batch by batch. They verify that what's on the label is actually in the pill at the stated amount. They also check for contaminants, heavy metals, and harmful substances.
Those like an independent audit.
Precisely. It provides an external layer of accountability that, frankly, the basic regulatory framework doesn't mandate. Seeing one of those seals is a very good sign.
Okay, label, third-party cert.
Okay.
Anything else?
And finally, take a few minutes to research the manufacturer's reputation. Do they have a website? Do they talk about their quality control? Are they invested in scientific research, or does their marketing rely entirely on, flashy influencer posts and vague promises?
Right. Check if they seem like a serious company versus just a marketing operation.
Exactly. Following these steps, clear label, third-party testing, reputable manufacturer, doesn't guarantee effectiveness, but it dramatically increases the chances that the product is safe and actually contains what it claims. Essential diligence.
Okay, so we've talked about these targeted supplements, the specific ingredients, the often modest effects, the quality concerns. It sounds complex, potentially expensive, and the results aren't guaranteed.
That's a fair summary of that part of the market, yes.
Which actually sets the stage perfectly for something quite surprising that came up in the research.
Oh, you're talking about the multivitamins.
Yes, because honestly, this next set of findings really caught my attention. After focusing on these specialized, often high-cost compounds, recent large-scale, pretty rigorous studies have highlighted the quiet power of just a basic daily multivitamin.
It's fascinating, isn't it? It sort of flips the conversation. The evidence emerging now is quite compelling. It suggests that routine daily multivitamin use can actually play a significant role in slowing down age-related cognitive decline.
Slowing decline. Not necessarily boosting genius, but preserving function as we age.
Precisely. Maintenance and resilience.
And there's a key statistic here that's genuinely striking. For older adults, taking a daily multivitamin was associated with delaying cognitive aging by approximately 2 years.
2 years. That's not insignificant. That's potentially 2 more years of sharper memory, better executive function compared to those not taking one, based on these large population studies like the Cosmos trials.
Wow. So how does that work? Why would a simple multify have such an effect when these targeted supplements show modest results?
Well, it likely comes back to that idea of foundation versus enhancement. Targeted supplements are often trying to push specific pathways for better performance. But a multivitamin, it's often working by quietly correcting widespread, often unnoticed, subtle nutrient deficiencies.
Deficiencies we might not even know we have.
Exactly. Think about it. Modern diets, even seemingly healthy ones, can sometimes fall short on the full spectrum of essential micronutrients. Things like B vitamins, vitamin D, minerals like zinc or selenium.
All right.
Deficiencies in these, even mild ones, can silently impair foundational cognitive processes. For instance, low B vitamins can lead to higher levels of homocysteine in the blood, which is actually toxic to brain cells over time.
Ah.
A multivitamin simply ensures you're getting adequate levels of these essential nutrients, correcting those potential deficiencies, and allowing baseline processes like neurotransmitter synthesis, energy metabolism, DNA repair, the methylation cycle to run smoothly.
So going back to that car analogy, it's not about installing a turbocharger. It's about making sure the car has enough oil, the tires are inflated, the spark plugs are working, nailing the basics.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's about resilience and maintenance. A simple multivitamin provides that broad range of essential micronutrients needed for long-term cognitive stability and function.
And the scientific backing for this kind of maintenance effect, especially against age-related decline, is becoming increasingly strong.
Yes, particularly from these large, well-designed, long-term, randomized controlled trials. Much stronger and more consistent in many ways than the evidence for many of the specific brain-boosting ingredients.
Okay, so let's summarize the comparison then. On one hand, we have the targeted brain supplements, They contain specific compounds like PS or coffee cherry extract.
Right, and they aim for enhanced function, better memory, focus, attention right now.
But the scientific backing is varied. Some support for PS, less for others, often modest effects overall.
Correct, and significant quality control issues in the market.
Then on the other hand, we have the humble daily multivitamin,
Broad range of essential nutrients, not really promising immediate enhancement.
but targeting general health and cognitive maintenance, especially as we age.
Yes, and with increasingly strong scientific backing from large trials for that specific role, slowing age-related cognitive decline, preserving memory.
It really does raise that question, doesn't it? Why chase the expensive, targeted, maybe marginal enhancements if your basic nutritional foundation might be shaky?
It strongly implies that for many people, maybe even most people, the biggest potential cognitive gains might not come from adding exotic ingredients, but simply from ensuring those fundamental nutritional bases are consistently covered.
Okay. So after this really deep dive into the science, the market, the pitfalls, let's try to wrap up by tackling a couple of the key questions people always ask about these supplements.
Sounds good.
First one, safety. Given everything we've said about inconsistent regulation and potential hidden ingredients, are brain supplements generally safe to take?
Generally speaking, for most healthy adults who stick to the recommended dosages listed on products from reputable third-party tested brands, the common ingredients like PS, B vitamins, etc. are considered safe. Serious adverse effects are relatively rare when used correctly.
But there's a but.
There's always a but. It is absolutely crucial to consult with a healthcare professional before starting any new supplement, especially these.
Why especially?
Well, firstly, they can advise you on potential, even if usually mild side effects, things like digestive upset or headaches that can occur with some ingredients. But more importantly, they need to check for potential interactions with any other medications or supplements you're already taking.
Ah, interactions.
Yeah.
Like blood thinners or antidepressants.
Exactly. Some supplement ingredients can interfere with prescription medications, either making them less effective or increasing the risk of side effects. Ginkgo biloba, for example, which is often in brain supplements, can interact with blood thinners. Your doctor or pharmacist needs to review everything you take. Safety is always personalized.
Okay, so generally safe if used correctly and checked with a doctor is the nuanced answer there.
That's the responsible answer, yes.
And the other big question, lifestyle. Can popping these pills, even the good ones, let you off the hook for things like eating well, exercising, getting enough sleep? Can they replace a healthy lifestyle for brain health?
Absolutely not. Not even close. That's probably the most important takeaway. Supplements are exactly that. They supplement a healthy lifestyle. They don't replace it.
So they're an add-on, not a foundation.
Precisely. They are best used, if at all, as a complement to a robust, holistic approach. That means a balanced diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, healthy fats. Regular physical exercise, which is hugely beneficial for the brain. Getting sufficient quality sleep, and engaging in mentally stimulating activities.
So the supplement is only as good as the lifestyle it's added to.
You could say that. It certainly cannot overcome the cognitive damage caused by chronic sleep deprivation, a terrible diet, or a completely sedentary life. The foundation has to be there first. A holistic approach is non-negotiable for optimal cognitive function.
Wow. Okay, that was a tremendous amount of information to process. We've cut through a lot of the promises, but also highlighted the genuine potential pitfalls in this huge market.
It's a complex landscape.
So the core takeaway for you, the listener, seems to be this. If you are seeking better cognitive function through supplements, you need to prioritize actual evidence over marketing hype. Look rigorously for that third-party testing seal on the bottle.
Absolutely.
And honestly, based on the latest large-scale research, maybe don't underestimate the foundational power of just a simple, reliable daily multivitamin for supporting long-term brain health and resilience, especially if you get older.
Well said.
Which leaves us with maybe one final provocative thought for you to ponder after listening to all this.
Okay.
Go for it.
Right. So if many of these highly marketed, often expensive targeted ingredients, like, say, coffee cherry extract, offer only modest benefits at best, maybe only for certain people, and yet these large-scale studies are showing consistent, Reliable, long-term maintenance benefits against age-related decline from something as simple and broad as a daily multivitamin.
Okay.
Then how might, or perhaps how should, the focus of cognitive health research and even public health recommendations shift in the coming years? Should we perhaps pivot, at least partially, away from this intense chase for the next single magic bullet ingredient for enhancement?
And focus more on what?
And instead, maybe concentrate more effort on understanding and optimizing universal baseline nutritional intake, just ensuring everyone gets the full spectrum of essential micronutrients consistently for maximizing lifelong brain resilience and preventing decline in the first place.
From chasing the peak to strengthening the foundation.
Exactly. Is the biggest win hiding in plain sight with the basics? Something to think about next time you're browsing that supplement aisle.
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.